You know what absolutely floored me? The average US wedding now costs more than a brand new Tesla Model 3. We're talking over $36,000 for a single day of celebration.
That's such a striking comparison. And what's really wild is how much these costs vary by region. Like in New York City, couples are spending $75,000 or more.
Well, looking at the historical data tells an interesting story. Back in the 1980s, the average wedding cost was just $1,900. Now we're seeing this massive shift where couples are spending 68% more just on photography than they used to.
Speaking of shifts, the pandemic really transformed how people think about weddings, didn't it? Like that huge 40% jump in outdoor ceremonies.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking about. And you know what's fascinating? These changes actually helped some couples save money. Like weekday weddings became totally normal, saving people up to 30% compared to Saturday events.
So what's really driving all these cost increases? I mean, beyond just general inflation.
Well, it's this perfect storm of factors. Venues and catering now eat up 40 to 60% of budgets. And then there are all these sneaky hidden costs that nobody warns you about, like those surprise service fees that blindside about 60% of couples.
That reminds me of something I read about those hidden fees. Like how a simple 18% service charge can add thousands to your final bill.
Right, and that's before we even talk about those last-minute emergencies, like when you suddenly need a tent because of weather concerns. But you know what's really interesting? This whole trend toward micro weddings is actually changing the game.
Oh, tell me more about that. How much are people actually saving with smaller celebrations?
So get this, a 50-person wedding typically costs about 40% less than a traditional 150-person celebration. When you break it down, each guest adds between $75 to $150 to your total budget between food, drinks, and all those little extras.
That makes so much sense when you think about the math behind it all.
And speaking of smart money moves, the timing of your wedding can make a huge difference. Like choosing January over June can save you up to 40% on venue costs. Though, you might need to budget extra for those heating lamps.
Well, that's fascinating about the seasonal pricing. I've heard some venues even throw in extras during the off-season to sweeten the deal.
Exactly. And you know what else is interesting? The whole debate between all-inclusive venues versus DIY spaces. Like an all-inclusive might seem expensive at $25,000, but when you factor in everything you'd have to rent separately for a DIY venue, from portable bathrooms to generators, it often ends up being more cost-effective.
That's such a good point about the hidden costs of DIY. People see that lower base price and don't realize what they're getting into.
You know, it reminds me of this fascinating case study where a couple tried to DIY everything to save money. They ended up spending almost as much as hiring professionals would have cost. Plus, they were totally stressed out the week before their wedding.
That's why wedding insurance has become such a big topic lately, right?
Yes. And here's a perfect example. There was this couple in Florida who got $8,000 back when Hurricane Ian ruined their beach wedding. That insurance policy probably seemed like an unnecessary expense until it literally saved their entire wedding budget.
Well, that really puts things in perspective about planning for the unexpected.
And that's really what modern wedding planning comes down to. Using all these tools and data to make smart decisions. Like we're seeing couples use everything from budget apps to online calculators to stay organized and avoid financial stress. You know,
That's such a crucial point about starting your marriage on solid financial footing.
absolutely right. Whether you're planning a micro wedding with your closest friends or a grand celebration with all the bells and whistles, it's about making choices that align with both your vision and your financial reality. After all, the wedding is just the beginning of your journey together.